Hey, welcome to CineMike. For this episode I'm going to review Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. This is the new film from French director Luc Besson, who is most known for directing Leon the Professional and The Fifth Element, which is my personal favorite of his, by the way. I'm sure it was a little wacky, but I thought it had tons of fun in it, and I thought Mila Jovovich was fantastic as Lilu, Gary Oldman chewed the scenery in such an entertaining way, and Bruce Willis was badass as usual, doing the whole John McClane in the future kind of thing. So when word on the street was that Valerian was going to be in a similar vein, then I got a little more interested. The movie is adapted from the French comic book series titled Valerian and Laureline, which I never read, but apparently Besson was a big fan of. I'm not sure why he chose to exclude Laureline from the title of the film, since both characters play an equal role in this, but whatever. The story for the film follows special operatives Valerian and Laureline as they get pulled into a mysterious threat that could lead to the destruction of Alpha, which is an ever-expanding space station that offers habitats for many diverse species to coexist and share their knowledge and culture with each other. The trailers definitely made the movie look like a visual feast, but I did get that this is either going to be really good or really bad vibe. Well, the reviews have started to come out, and the movie is being trashed by many critics as being the worst of the year. So, which side of the line does my opinion fall on? Whew, boy, where to begin with this one? Well, I'll start off with what was good about it, since that will be brief. I really enjoyed the opening sequence where we see the International Space Station slowly develop and evolve over many years into Alpha. This has David Bowie's classic song Space Oddity playing over it, which is never a bad choice. Luc Besson also delivers on the impressive visuals that were teased in the trailers. There are times where the CGI looked a little cartoony, but for the most part they were bursting with imagination. One thing you cannot fault this movie for is how truly original and beautiful its visuals were. There are certainly some parallels with Avatar, but where that only had to come up with a single culture, this movie had to come up with dozens. Like, there's this one sequence where Valerian is racing through several different habitats, and that looked pretty cool, but there's also a desert world where there's like this metropolis shopping market that exists in a pocket parallel dimension. That was really creative. And creating these different environments and the species that populate them had to have required so much thought and planning. It's just a shame that the rest of the movie didn't have that same level of attention paid to it. In terms of good things to mention, I pretty much run out here. The rest of the movie is, well, pretty bad, honestly. Besson's campy style can be hit or miss. While there is some amusing little moments, for the most part I'd say it's more miss than hit. And it should serve as a guide for what not to do when writing a screenplay, in my opinion. The story's a mess. There's at least two major detours from the main plot to explore these really lame and way too drawn out little side adventures. It felt like each of them were like 30 minutes long, but then again, time slowed way down during this movie for me. It's 137 minutes, which is way too long as it is, but I was so bored that it felt more like 4 hours. This is because it was all style over substance. You can't have exciting action if you don't put work into investing the audience into the story and characters first. After all, if you don't care about the characters, then you won't feel any excitement when they're in danger. The dialogue is total garbage. Exposition is just shoveled down our throats, as though they think we are too stupid to understand anything otherwise. The movie clearly thought it was more clever than it really was, and you have characters saying everything that they're thinking or feeling out loud, which totally takes away any opportunity for the actors to be nuanced. Then there's the incredibly cheesy puns and banter that feels as though they shot the first draft of the script. There was zero chemistry between the main characters, despite how strong their partnership is supposed to be and them talking about the idea of marriage throughout the entire movie. Dane DeHaan plays the title character of Valerian, and he's just totally miscast as this rebellious Han Solo action hero type. He's also supposed to be this suave ladies' man, and it just feels so unnatural coming from DeHaan. He starts the movie off boasting about how handsome he is, which immediately makes him look like a total douche. Cara Delevingne plays Laureline, and I really don't have much to say about her. She's just very standard and wooden, though I suppose that character-wise she's slightly stronger than Valerian, but that isn't saying much. I've only ever seen Delevingne in Suicide Squad prior to this, and I was pretty unimpressed with her in that too. But I have been a fan of DeHaan in the past. I thought he was great in Chronicle and The Place Beyond the Pines. In Valerian, neither one of them were really terrible necessarily, but they felt really out of place. Ultimately, I don't think that you can blame either DeHaan or Delevingne for this movie, because almost everyone else was pretty mediocre too. So I think that the blame must fall on Luc Besson, who gave his actors pretty bad material to work with. I think that Clive Owen as the shady commander of Alpha managed to be alright despite the awful script, but he's a pretty underdeveloped character. And as in all of Besson's movies, you do also have some colorful and over-the-top performances, and here you have Ethan Hawke as this crazy pimp who I was admittedly a little amused by because he was really playing against type, and I've never seen him do anything like this before. But there's also Rihanna as this shape-shifting, burlesque dancing alien who was also probably a prostitute. Her whole sequence went on way too long, and it didn't add anything to the story, but I guess she was alright considering. If Luc Besson put the same attention into his characters and story as he did into the amazing visuals, then he may have had something truly special here, but sadly that's not the case, and Valerian is just a wasted opportunity in the end. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the very best that this particular film could be for me, I would give Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets a 4. And I should mention that if it were not for the imagination and visuals, that this movie probably would have gotten an even lower rating from me. And that about covers it. Click like if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave a comment below. Tell me if you agree or disagree, and I also welcome you to subscribe to my channel. You can also now follow me on Twitter at CineMikeNerd. So anyways, until next time, this is Mike, signing off.